Good afternoon and welcome back, everyone. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings, broadcasting live, Apple Valley, California.
Yep, and it is a beautiful day, and we are talking science and technology.
The dogs are going off. There must
Yep,
be a
the
squirrel
pound
in
is
the backyard.
active.
If the thought of going to the gym makes you groan, you're not alone. The science of mental strength and resilience, how enduring mild physical discomfort helps the brain build new reference points for tolerance. Let's be honest, it's called working out for a reason. While exercise is undeniably good for your health, it doesn't always feel great, especially when you're drenched in sweat, out of breath, making unflattering faces, trying to think about anything other than your aching muscles. I remember we'd have to do PT every day in the military and just hated it. But then once I got into it, those endorphins just kicked in.
I don't think I have any endorphins.
No, not that you're aware of,
I don't think so.
like a sense of humor.
Not that I've seen lately.
Huh. Everyone has limits, but the biggest barriers to pushing through that good pain are often not physical, they're mental. Would you like to know more?
Personal experiences and past conditioning shape how much discomfort we believe we can tolerate. That belief becomes a roadblock. Many people stop long before their body truly needs to. Some avoid exercise entirely. The good news is that your personal threshold for discomfort isn't fixed. The brain is adaptable thanks to its neuroplasticity and that it can change how it responds under pressure.
New research suggests that even people with low perceived exercise tolerance can build mental toughness by training key brain networks to handle the discomfort that comes with physical activity. I suppose, the marathoners, they're doing like their paces are like 5 minute miles for 26 miles. That's got to be painful. I
I
mean,
don't
mile
understand
after
why.
mile. Why it's painful?
No, why
Oh.
they do it.
Oh, fame probably. Oh, why do you climb to the
No,
top
I mean
of
I
Mount
get it,
Everest?
and I'm not saying that they're weird or anything, but that's just never running and distance walking has just never been something that I've cared to do. But anyway,
Okay. According to study author Marcello Bigliassi, this process enhances self regulation, the ability to manage self doubt, discouragement, and other negative emotions while staying focused during exercise. It makes it easier to maintain a consistent workout routine.
quote, maybe you think you're low tolerant, that's your personality, and there's nothing you can do about it, says Bigliassi, an FIU assistant professor who specializes in AI driven neuroscience and the brain body relationship. Quote, our data is showing the opposite when we give people who are minimally active and low tolerant a little physical stress. It gives them a new point of reference or comparison. So it's easier for them to do something difficult again another time.
This kind of makes sense. Kind of. That little bit of stress is the key. The brain is naturally wired to learn from stressful experiences. Physical stress, such as intense exercise, activates the body's systems for responding to threats, often called the fight or flight response, while also prompting long term adaptations. These experiences create mental reference points that help the brain prepare for future challenges. In simple terms, your capacity for handling discomfort gradually increases over time.
All right. Bigliossi's research group gets inside people's heads when they're in the grips of some seriously grueling acute stressors, vigorous exercise, as well as the notoriously brutal cold pressor test, which this is just nuts,
I know.
which involves dunking a hand up to the wrist in ice water for a maximum of 3 minutes.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could
Why
last
would
30
you?
seconds.
Why would you do that? I don't.
Just to say
Again, my
that you
mind
did?
just doesn't work that way. So I don't. I mean, what's the point?
In addition to tracking brain activity with electroencephalography (EEG),
Glad you said that. That looks like
it does.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It does, man. It's a long word.
Yes.
Then, using AI models to interpret the data, the research team also gathers physiological measurements like heart rate variability and issues traditional questionnaires to gauge participants' mood. I wonder if they do that while you're right in that sit up. How do you feel? Get away from me.
Yeah. Or you've got your hand buried in a glass of
How do you
ice
think I
water.
feel? I'm
Yeah.
getting frostbite.
Yeah. I mean, what happens? You lift your arm out, and maybe some of your fingers don't work or
They're
something.
shaking your hand.
Crazy. Even as a lifelong fitness enthusiast, not me, who has personally experienced the myriad benefits of weightlifting and jujitsu, Bigliassi is fascinated by the findings. The first of the team's tolerance experiments explored the connection between people's self-reported exercise tolerance and their ability to endure the cold pressor test without moving their hand or making a fist. Why
So
wouldn't
you
you want to
just
make a fist?
why can't you do that? I mean, why do you just got to let it go limp in the water?
Tighten it up. I mean, it's like when you tighten it up, it's tough to undo. I mean, I can't wrap my head around putting your hand or any body parts. I've seen those people get in
The polar
in those wash tubs. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just
or the
no.
the polar challenge where they jump into freezing
like
water.
a lake.
in
Yeah,
the
where they
lake.
busted up the ice.
And
Yeah,
some die.
no. I mean, if I'm gonna bust ice up in a lake, I'm gonna ice fish.
Ice fish, yeah.
Yeah.
Across the board, high tolerant people endured the discomfort for almost a minute longer than their lower tolerant counterparts. This was to be expected, says Diane Antonio, a PhD student and teaching assistant in Bigliassi's lab, who helped lead the research. What was more intriguing, the low tolerant group reported feeling more confident after the test was over.
More confident or just glad?
Bamboozled.
Yeah. It made us wonder if they put their hand in cold water before exercise, could it influence their experience at high intensities?
Oh, that's
says
interesting.
Antonio. For the follow-up study recently published in Stress and Health, a group of 34 participants who were minimally active or didn't exercise at all came to Bigliassi's lab. I wouldn't go anywhere near this place. They filled out a questionnaire and were told about the two tests, so they knew what to expect.
Flight or flight, right?
Maybe they tried it before they went there.
First came the cold pressor test. Immediately after, they hopped on an indoor bike for an explosive burst of cycling. Was it absolute torture for them? Surprisingly, not quite. Participants reported the peak intensity as being, well, not so bad, and yes, even enjoyable and less painful. The takeaway isn't necessarily to start experimenting with cold showers or ice baths, unless that's something you're interested in.
Quote, people will ask me that I have to tell them, no, that's not really the idea. Tonio laughs. Haha. It's that pushing our limits changes how we perceive stress, discomfort, and pain, and is the only way to build up the cognitive abilities that make you mentally resilient enough to deal with whatever comes your way.
So before you start that rigorous activity, you start slapping yourself across the face?
No.
For pain?
No.
And then get into it and you go further?
Do you know of anybody that enjoys pain?
SEALs do. Marines do.
Well, do they enjoy it, or they just have a really high tolerance for it?
A really high tolerance.
Yeah, so these guys would probably do well in these tests, but common everyday guy or woman, I don't know. But anyway.
Bigliassi agrees, noting it is necessary to confront challenges with one caveat, quote, you have to match the level of complexity to your current capabilities. The goal isn't to fail, because then you only feel terrible, he says. We want you to do hard things that are hard for you, not anyone else, only you.
For example, if you've been sedentary for years and walking is difficult for you, don't start off trying to get 10,000 steps a day in. Instead, Bigliassi suggests aiming for shorter distances and gradually working up to longer ones. That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
To an extent, there may be some truth to that old school motivational exercise motto, no pain, no gain. Beyond what's comfortable, there's a lot of untapped potential for growth.
Quote, I guess I like to make people stress, Bigliassi says, but it's because I want them to capitalize on stress, not to be afraid of it. If my work helps make someone mentally stronger and more resilient so they can have a good, long, healthy life, well, that would be amazing.
Okay, so again, going back to I'm obsessed with this ice water wrist, hand up
stressor.
Wrist. Yeah, what is and believe me, I'm not going to go home and try this, but I don't understand how that was going to get you mentally ready for exercise, like extreme exercise or changing.
I guess what he said is
that of stress.
That's stressing you out, lasting for those 3 minutes, and then you can push through pain of push-ups or
I don't even know if I could do it for a minute. I mean,
I don't know either.
that's a long time.
The only way to find out is to try it.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to go underwater and hold your breath for a minute? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
It seems like an eternity, and wherein it's like 10 seconds.
yeah. But anyway.
All right, folks.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.